From the aging legends in Brooklyn to the Hollywood meltdown in Los Angeles, these are NBA super teams that were built to win it all, but ended in total disaster. The 2024 Phoenix Suns, a super team that looked great on paper. The Phoenix Suns were so close to winning it all in 2021. They had a solid team, great chemistry, and made it to the NBA Finals. But a few years later, instead of building slowly, they decided to go big, maybe too big. In 2023, the Suns already had Devin Booker, a sharpshooting all-star, and Kevin Durant, one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. That's a deadly duo, but they wanted more. So they traded for Bradley Beal, another scoring machine. Now they had 3 superstars. People were saying, wow, this team is going to be unstoppable. It seemed like nobody could outscore them. But there was a problem. Actually, there were a lot of problems. First, all 3 of them were scorers. That's great, until you realize they needed defenders, rebounders, and guys to do the dirty work too. Instead, they traded away those role players and filled the bench with cheap signings. Then came the injuries. Beal missed big chunks of the season. Durant, though still awesome, was getting older. And Booker had to do a little of everything, scoring, passing, leading, just to keep the team afloat. When the playoffs came in 2024, the Suns were expected to turn it up, but instead, they got swept in the first round. 4 games. Boom. Done. It wasn't even close. And here's the wildest part. This was the most expensive team in NBA history. Yep, all that money, all those stars, and they didn't win a single playoff game. Fans were furious. Experts were shocked. And the team? They were left asking, what went wrong? Well, when you focus only on big names and forget how important teamwork, defense, and depth are, you get burned. The 2024 Suns were built like a firework. Big, flashy, and gone in a flash. The 2013 LA Lakers, a super team that broke down before it even started. In 2012, the Los Angeles Lakers decided to go all out. They already had Kobe Bryant, a 5-time champion and one of the greatest players ever. But they weren't done. That summer, they added Dwight Howard, the best center in the NBA at the time, and Steve Nash, a 2-time MVP and one of the best point guards ever. And just like that, the Lakers had a starting lineup with Kobe, Dwight, Nash, Pau Gasol, and Metta World Peace. That's 5 big names, a super team. People thought, this team is going straight to the finals. But instead of lifting a trophy, the Lakers went crashing down. Right away, the problems started. Steve Nash hurt his back and barely played. He was 38 years old and couldn't move like he used to. Dwight Howard was also coming off a back injury and didn't have his usual bounce. Plus, he and Kobe just didn't get along. Dwight wanted to have fun. Kobe wanted to win at all costs. They clashed hard. Even though Kobe and Pau tried to carry the team, the Lakers struggled. They were losing to teams they were supposed to beat. And with the playoffs getting closer, they were in real danger of missing them entirely. Then, something crazy happened. Kobe turned into a machine. He played almost every minute, scoring like it was 2006 again. He willed the Lakers into the playoff race. But then, disaster. With just 2 games left in the season, Kobe tore his Achilles tendon, one of the worst injuries a player can have. Even though he made 2 free throws after the injury, because Kobe is just that tough, his season, and basically the Lakers' hopes, were over. The Lakers made the playoffs, but they had no shot without their leader. They got swept in the first round. After that, the super team fell apart. Nash kept getting injured. Dwight left for another team. Kobe was never quite the same. The dream that looked so perfect on paper turned into a nightmare. The 2013 Lakers were built to dominate, but injuries, bad timing, and clashing egos tore it all apart. They had the names, they had the hype, but not the results. The 2018 OKC Thunder. All the talent, none of the teamwork. In 2018, the Oklahoma City Thunder put together a team that looked ready to shock the league. They already had Russell Westbrook, the high-flying MVP who averaged a triple-double. Then they added Paul George, an elite scorer and defender, and Carmelo Anthony, a 10-time All-Star who could light up the scoreboard. People were saying, this team's got 3 superstars. They're going deep in the playoffs. It sounded great, but then the games actually started. Right from the jump, something felt off. The Thunder just couldn't figure out how to play together. Instead of working as a team, it felt like they were taking turns on offense. There was no rhythm, no chemistry, and their defense? It wasn't nearly as good as people expected. Even though the roster was loaded, OKC won just 48 games, barely enough to make the playoffs. Then came the real embarrassment. In the first round, they faced a young Utah Jazz team led by rookie Donovan Mitchell. Everyone thought OKC's experience and star power would win out, but the Thunder got smacked. They lost in just 6 games, and Mitchell outplayed the entire OKC Big Three. Worse yet, the series ended with Damian Lillard, from a later season, hitting one of the most famous buzzer beaters ever, waving goodbye to the Thunder as he sank a deep 3 over Paul George. That moment basically ended that version of the team. After the season, Carmelo was gone, traded away after 1 year. The next year, Paul George had a great season but injured his shoulder before the playoffs. The Thunder lost early again, and soon after, both George and Westbrook were traded away, ending the super team experiment for good. But guess what? That trade brought in a young guard named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and now OKC is one of the best young teams in the NBA. Still, the 2018 Thunder will always be remembered as a team that had huge names, huge hype, and a huge flop. 3 stars. 1 season. 0 results. The 2014 Brooklyn Nets, a super team built on hype, crushed by reality. The Brooklyn Nets were tired of losing. In 2013, they decided to go all in. Their plan? Spend big, trade everything, and build a super team that could win right away. Sounds exciting, right? At the heart of their plan was a wild trade. They brought in Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, 2 former champions from the Boston Celtics, and Jason Terry, another veteran. These guys were legends, but they were also way past their prime. In return, the Nets gave Boston a crazy amount of future draft picks. Most fans thought it was a huge risk, and they were right. But the Nets didn't stop there. They already had Joe Johnson, a high-scoring all-star, and Darren Williams, who was once one of the best point guards in the league. On paper, it looked like a dream team. 5 all-star starters? Yes, please. People thought this team was going to take over the East, but reality hit hard. Garnett and Pierce looked old. Really old. Darren Williams wasn't the same explosive player anymore. The team's chemistry felt off, and their style of play was slow and clunky. They managed to win just 44 games in the regular season. Not bad, but definitely not great for a supposed super team. In the playoffs, they barely got past the Toronto Raptors, winning in Game 7 thanks to a last-second miss by Kyle Lowry. Then they faced LeBron James and the Miami Heat, and got completely outclassed. Just like that, their title hopes were dead. After the season, it got worse. Paul Pierce left in free agency. Garnett was traded a year later. Deron Williams and Joe Johnson both declined and were gone soon after. The super team was officially a bust. And remember all those draft picks they gave away? Yeah, that came back to haunt them. The Celtics used those picks to build a powerhouse, while the Nets were stuck at the bottom with no stars and no future. Here's the twist. They did it again. A few years later, Brooklyn built another super team with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, and that one fell apart too. The 2014 Nets didn't just fail, they set their franchise back for years. They traded the future for a fantasy. And in the end, it was a disaster. The 2004 LA Lakers, a super team that crashed hard. In 2004, the Los Angeles Lakers built a team that looked like something out of a video game. They already had Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, 2 of the biggest NBA stars on the planet. Then they added Karl Malone, one of the best power forwards ever, and Gary Payton, a fearless point guard known as the Glove for his lockdown defense. That gave them 4 future Hall of Famers on one squad. People were saying this team is going to destroy everyone, and at first it looked like they might. They started the season strong, winning 20 of their first 25 games. But under the surface, things were falling apart. Kobe and Shaq were not getting along. Their feud was out in the open. They took shots at each other in interviews and even argued during games. On top of that, Kobe was dealing with a serious court case, which caused him to miss games and brought tons of media attention. Karl Malone got injured and missed nearly half the season. Gary Payton didn't fit in with the team's triangle offense and got frustrated. Even with all that drama, the Lakers still made it to the NBA Finals. They were heavy favorites to win it all. Their opponent? The Detroit Pistons, a tough, no-nonsense team with no real superstars, but tons of heart and defense. Then came the shock. The Pistons didn't just win, they dominated. They shut down the Lakers' offense, out-hustled them, and made them look slow and confused. In just 5 games, the mighty Lakers were sent packing. It was one of the most surprising upsets in NBA history. After the loss, the whole super team fell apart overnight. Karl Malone retired. Shaq got traded to Miami after more fights with Kobe. Gary Payton left for another team. The dream team was over, and they didn't even win a ring. They were built to be a super team, but they turned into a super flop. All that talent couldn't save them from injuries, egos, and bad chemistry. Lesson learned. Even when you stack a team with legends, winning takes more than just big names. These teams had the stars, the hype, and the spotlight, but when it mattered most, they crumbled. Super teams don't guarantee super results. Which super team flop shocked you the most? Thanks for watching the 5 greatest super team disasters. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment.